Hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Just made it out today to Dovercourt to photograph one of the lighthouses here. Absolutely stunning location, really enjoyable. Seeing the light interact with the water and the sea, obviously dead in line with the lighthouse as well, so working out to be a really interesting location. However, the wind is quite gusty, and unfortunately it has blown over the Canon 600D and actually broken the LCD screen on the side. So yeah, a little bit bittersweet this morning so far, but for photography wise, working out really enjoyable. So hopefully it'll be a good shoot. So for the first image, what I've got here is the camera precariously placed on one of these concrete groins here, leaning directly straight out to the lighthouse that's in the water. It's working out to be a really interesting image. I've got the camera set up in portrait orientation, using the leading line of this concrete groin, as I say, straight out to the lighthouse, and waiting for that break in the cloud for the light to then obviously create that link between the groin and the actual lighthouse as well. Settings for the camera that I've got is on approximately 18mm, f11, ISO 100, and flitting between 320th of a second and 640th of a second image. I'm working out which one I'm going to prefer. I want to slightly underexpose the image because obviously with the light coming through, it's obviously blowing out all the highlights. Don't necessarily want to bracket the image because obviously the movement of the water as well. To have those three exposures, I might get a bit of blur in the actual water. So yeah, going for probably the 640th of a second image, because then I'm obviously be able to retain some of the detail in the clouds as well. It's really gusty, so hopefully it sort of whip up a bit more of the sea here and get some more interesting images. But first one in the bag, working out really enjoyable. So as the wind's really picking up now, definitely having to handhold the Canon 600D. I don't necessarily want it to blow over again and completely wreck the LCD screen. But yeah, working out really interesting. Got some lovely detail in the clouds now coming in. So I've changed the camera, or kept with the same composition should I say, changed the camera over to landscape orientation and exposing more for the sky. I've bracketed the image but kept the camera on f11, ISO 100, approximately 18mm. And the base image is, shutter speed should I say, the base shutter speed is 320th of a second. Exposing or bracketing for one stop either side, so I can obviously pull back some of that detail in the sky. The sky is absolutely fantastic. The shape and the detail of the clouds is really what I want to create in this one. And hopefully what I'm going to be able to do with this image as well is convert it into black and white. I think the first composition will work best in black and white as well. So it's definitely looking like a day of black and white photography, but great to be down here at this location. Again, a location that I've really wanted to visit for a very long time, and luckily enough today I've got the opportunity to do that. So yeah, photography wise, working out an enjoyable shoot. Camera gear wise, working out a bit of a disaster, but that's the fun and game about vlogging. It's the sacrifice that we put our gear through to actually gain these images and create these videos as well. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be well worth it in the end. I've just moved along the beach a little bit further to these groins and setting the camera up really low so obviously I can get the lighthouse in lined up with one of the groins as well, but got the cable release in at the same time, because what I'm doing is waiting for that wave to come in, and as it's cresting the wave and about to crash onto the foreshore, then I'm obviously taking that image and working out really interesting. I've got the camera set up again on f11, ISO 100 and 320th of a second exposure excuse me, because I'm obviously wanting that fast shutter speed to freeze the crest of the wave and as it's crashing on the foreshore, but also obviously for the highlights as well, and obviously retaining as much detail in the highlights as possible with that exposure. So yeah, working out really interesting, and some of the bigger waves now, that's a perfect one. It's just working it out, getting the timing right, and having obviously the shutter release cable. You don't obviously then get that vibrations by obviously pressing the camera down, and yeah, obviously working out to be again an enjoyable composition. Composition, I've just moved a little bit further back up the beach now and put on my 10-stop ND filter, creating about a 6 and a 4 second exposure at f11 ISO 100, and it's just obviously smoothing out that water as it's rolling in, but keeping the sharpness in obviously the lighthouse as the main subject, but the groins. And as I've composed the image, what it's actually created is like an S-curve. So the groins obviously leading in the bottom left-hand corner up, and then obviously round to the actual lighthouse itself. So again, obviously I'm thinking that's going to work really nicely in a black and white, but hopefully obviously will work out to be a really interesting image. And obviously having that ND filter as well adds a lot to your bag of photography skills. And yeah, it obviously just increases that little bit of an ethereal look within the actual image as well. So hopefully again working out to be a really interesting composition. So it's been great coming out here to Dovercourt to actually capture the images of the lighthouse here. Again, a location I've really wanted to come and visit for a long time, and luckily enough today I had the opportunity. A little bit of a bittersweet photography trip, I think, today, is to sum it up. Obviously, yeah, really enjoyed the images that I captured. Unfortunately, though, at the sacrifice of a little bit of kit malfunction with obviously the Canon 600D with the LCD screen. Fingers crossed, though, I might be able to salvage it. It's still working, but yeah, hopefully you're not too badly damaged. But yeah, really enjoyable location. Hopefully you've enjoyed it as well. Please feel free to make a comment below, and if you haven't considered it already, consider subscribing. But thanks a lot for watching, and take care.